What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Diego once again. So, this is the new bike, 2025 CVO ST. Well, yeah, it's Road Glide. My bad. I had to put that out there because there is a Street Glide version now. But yeah, this is the new bike. Yeah, this bike is basically what I always wanted from the start. But like you gotta start off somewhere, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I waited because the Road Glides back then, they all look like old man bikes. So not really much performance there. It's just a lot about cruising and stuff. Not that I don't like cruising. I love going long distance, which is another reason why I bought this bike. But yeah, I'll get into all the reasons and why I wanted this bike, and you know, my thoughts, and you know. But yeah, let's start off. Like basically my reasoning for this bike. Since I started riding, I love going long distance. I find that fascinating, be able to go like far places on a bike versus, you know, in a car. Anybody can go far distance in a car, but on a bike, yeah, that's what makes it an adventure right there. And me, I'm all about adventure, just going out, exploring, seeing what the world has to offer, especially on a bike. But yeah, this bike can definitely do that. That's what it's meant for. It's a touring bike, but at the same time, it's also a performance bike. This model right here, the CVO ST, is basically inspired by the Moto America King of the Baggers race series. And if you've been watching, those things are pretty fast. And another reason why I wanted to buy this bike, because ever since I saw one of those races, and I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. A big bike like that, to be able to like lay down in the corners just like a freaking MotoGP bike can, man, that's pretty insane. And you've probably seen the videos online on YouTube. They show you the differences between the Super Sport and the King of the Baggers race bike. They're probably neck and neck, which is freaking crazy. But yeah, when I first started, you know, as I said, I had a CBR 1000 RR, and that bike had no ABS, no technology, no nothing. Even though it was a 2012, it had a, you know, digital display. But other than that, I mean, it was a pretty raw bike. You gotta know what you were doing with that bike. And yeah, and I hear everybody talk about like you should have got like 300 or, you know, something with smaller CCs. But me, I'm not the type of person that's always like, oh, I need to race somebody. I'm not trying to race nobody, bro. At the age of 21, which is when I first bought my first CBR 1000 RR, I had no riding experience other than, you know, able to drive a car, like, you know, manual shifting cars. So like, yeah, standard car, as I would say. But yeah, other than that, that's all I knew how to do. Like, you know, I knew how to operate a car with a manual gearbox. That's about it, which is basically what a bike is. The bike is a manual gearbox. The only difference is instead of the clutch being on your foot, on the bike, it's on your, you know, it's on your left hand right here. And then for shifting, it's basically on your foot versus your hand. But yeah, other than that, that's all the experience I knew. And like, basically, I didn't know how to ride a bike, so I basically took the course at the age of 21 at a Harley dealership, crazy enough. And the instructors was just like, how'd you know how to ride this bike without even having no riding experience? I'm like, well, I know how to drive a manual car, so I mean, that helped. And then the fact that I knew how to balance on a bicycle, that kind of helped too. So it's a matter of just applying what I know to the bike, and I got it right then and there. But yeah, I got the CBR because I couldn't afford the Road Glide at that time. Plus, I'm glad I waited, because those Road Glides back then, they were, like I said, they had no performance, anything. It was all basically an old man bike, the typical Harley rider. And you know, the CBR taught me a lot, and you know, it was fun. That was a fun bike, man. Like that thing, man, it loved to be in the high RPMs. Like I could be in the high RPMs, and that bike would just keep wanting to go and go, and I'm like, oh no, man, I just missed that. Those high revving bikes, man. Like, to get into power on those bikes, yeah, you gotta be on there. But yeah, let me fill this bike up with air real quick and I'll get back to the video. Oh, not saying 39. Alright guys, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so I didn't want to, I didn't have the cash, so you know, having that CVR 1000 as the first bike, it taught me a lot. No ABS, like I was saying, no ABS, none of that electronic stuff that all the newer bikes have nowadays. It basically taught me to be, you know, easy with the throttle, easy with the brakes. Don't freaking panic brake and squeeze all the brake. I have done it on that CVR one time and I was like, oh, don't do that again. And yeah, and fortunately enough, that bike was the first bike that I went down on. Yeah. Yeah, basically I don't think it was my fault. It was basically a mixture of, kind of it was my fault, a little bit of like the road conditions. But I'll tell you a quick story. Basically what happened was I was riding from work one day back when I used to live in Tampa Bay, Florida, and what happened was I just finished from work, like I said, and that was, if you guys know where Ybor City is at in Tampa, you probably know what I'm referring to, but it was down there right by where the IKEA was at. And around that area there's like these those roads that are like graded. They're not graded, but they have grooves in them. And yeah, it had grooves in them, and it was wet, and it was an industrial area too, so you know, industrials usually have like oil spills and all that. So essentially what, and it was raining. That was the other thing too. It was raining that day. I was riding back, raining. I believe I was running Pirelli Diablos on that bike at the time. Essentially what happened was I was taking a turn. It was like a very, you know, like a turn like what I'm about to take right now, like a turn like this. And as I was taking it, I feel the rear end starting to like get a little bit loose, and I was like, oh man, what the heck? So I was like, in my head, I literally felt it, and I was like, I had to make a quick decision. I was like, you can either try to save it, or just let it go on the ground and slide. And it's funny because I just installed the frame sliders like I think a month before, and I was like, this sucks. And I just let it slide, and I slid on my butt fell on the asphalt. Luckily I was wearing all the gear, and that's what, hey, wearing all your gear, it truly saved me, and it surely did. I was wearing a Joe Rocket jacket with some jeans, just regular jeans. I had my gloves on, I had my Alpine Star shoes on, and yeah, nothing happened. The bike slid, I slid over to the curb of the sidewalk, and I slid to the curb of the sidewalk, stood up. And then, you know, as usual, they were like, oh, what happened? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I got up, no issues. Luckily, I didn't hit my head. Thank God. And, yeah, I got up, got the bike up. Basically, from there, I picked it up, fired. Well, you know how it is when you drop a bike and the bike you have to give it a few seconds for it to reset. So, yeah, essentially, I had to wait for it to reset. It resetted. And then from there, turned it on, rode it back home with a broken mirror. That was the only they had a broken mirror on the left side, because that's where the impact was, on the left side. But yeah, I basically rode it home. After that, I was like, this sucks. Yeah, I had to replace basically the left side bearing, the left nose as well, because they got basically, I was upset. I was like, bro. luckily nothing happened. I just fixed those parts. I got the new bearings and, you know, the new mirror, and I was good to go. And yeah, and that was my, you know, and that's what they always say. There are two types of people that ride motorcycles: the ones that have gone down, the ones who haven't. And yeah, it was definitely good. Luckily there's no cars behind me, and it was just, like I said, I was wearing my gears and nothing really happened. I got home, I took off my gear, and the only thing I had was on my elbow, from the elbow pad. It actually, since, you know, it's a mesh jacket, the material on the inside was kind of like a little bit, when it, I guess since I went down pretty quick, I guess it rubbed against me pretty hard. It was kind of like sandpaper, and just all it did was just scrape me. But nothing bad. It was nothing that nothing. It could have been worse. But yeah. And then on my when I slid on my butt, nothing happened. My jeans were actually like, those are some standard jeans, like nothing crazy, and they did their job. Yeah. And that was it. And I rode them home. And yeah, like I said, that was my first bike. Loved it, but like I said, I couldn't go far distance with it. The only thing that you could really do is, like, you know, highway pulls. You know, it's a nice looking bike. It's a sport bike. Like any sport bike looks nice, but that's not what I really wanted. Eventually, I got a Yamaha MT10 after test riding one at Daytona Bike Week, and I was like, this thing feels nice. You can sit upright, feel comfy, has cruise control. And I was like, and then that's when I was like, yo, I have to get this bike. And man, you probably saw this from the last video, but yeah, I sold my CBR for the exact same amount I bought it for, $7,000. I bought it $7,000, and Gable Motorsport in Tampa, and I ended up selling it at $7,000 in Barney's down in Brandon, Tampa. Yeah. I was like, I had to take that deal. I'm like, you gave me $7K? Okay, say less. That's the exact same amount I paid for this bike. And what was funny was, yeah, I paid, they gave me $7,000 for it, and I basically had to put the rest towards the Yamaha, which I did. And then I ended up paying it off, because basically all I had left to pay off was like $4,000, because I bought it for like 13 or 14, yeah, 13, $14,000 out the door, brand new, with warranty and everything. And yeah, I modified it, put the Austin Racing exhaust, got it tuned. But yeah, I couldn't go far with it. Like I said, you sit upright, but you're still, especially that bike particularly, they had the R1's motor. And if anybody knows, the R1's motor is like terrible at gas mileage. Those bikes are like, they suck at gas mileage. Like, you would be on the highway or something, that thing is like, and that's the only, I think that's the only time I only got good mileage on the freaking, on the highways. I think I did like 43 the most, even after the tune. I mean, the tune did help, but not a lot. In the especially if you're getting on it, man, you can expect to get like 19, 21 miles per gallon. And the fuel tank, man, that thing has a small fuel tank. Like, I think, like, I would get like 100 miles on the CBR. I would get like 150, 160 until empty. Versus the MT10, man, that thing goes 100 miles. I need gas. So yeah, I really couldn't do much, and then eventually I kept seeing the road guys, and then the Indian Challengers came out. I'm not gonna, the Indian Challengers are nice, but I just, their infotainment, look at this. This is a nice screen, got Apple CarPlay. The Indian Challenger, and it's still outdated. It has that little tiny screen, the analog gauges. I'm not a big fan of analog gauges. Some people are, I'm not. I just like everything digital. And just that front, how it looks right here on the Harleys, it look nice. On the Indians, I didn't like how they look, and then the handlebars being tucked away, like hidden. Just wasn't. If they would have fixed all that, and then the headlight, I hate the Cyclops looks. Because there's one thing you should know about me, guys, is like, I hate the Cyclops looks on the bikes. Like having that one little circle like bulb as a headlight as a light for a bike. Yeah, no, I'm good. It looks ugly. I just can't stand that. That's why I love the shark nose fairings on the road glides, because it's on the older ones they have 2 light bulbs. I'm fine with 2, and this one it's a whole integrated one. Which it looks nice as hell. Like, Yeah, on the Challenger, it's like it still has a cyclist, but it has like those two daytime running lights on the side, which are alright. But if they would have like I said, if they change all those things that I just said, I would have for sure bought the Indian Challenger, because at the end of the day, the Indian Challenger outperforms the road glides in terms of performance. Those things have liquid cool motors, which run better, more efficient, and they make more power. Like if this bike had that, it would have for sure beat the Indian like all day in looks, everything. But that's where Harley's still stuck in the old days. Like that's where I'm like, y'all need to like take advice from me, bro. Like if Harley would have like they make like they have the Revolution Max, that new motor that's liquid cooled. They put those things on the bagger bikes, go against the Indians, man. That might be some nice competition right there, because at that point nobody can argue, well, they're running an air cool versus a liquid cool. No, you guys are both running the same thing, so now who makes the better motor now? So you see what I'm saying? But yeah, like the day they come out with a liquid cool motor, it's game over for Indians. If they build it right, that's the thing. If they build it right, because yeah. But yeah, guys, this is the new bike. I have plenty of upgrades coming up soon. Like I said, you probably already noticed all the upgrades. I haven't shot a video since then, but yeah, I basically upgraded it. Stage 3 Rockford Fosgate speakers. That's the biggest thing. I want the audio on this bike. I want to get the sounds audio system for the front and the saddlebags, because that's the main thing. I just want to be going down the street, like, you know, bumping my music. Yeah. And then I did get the Clockwork windshield. I didn't need it, but my wife, she rides in the back, and she could literally feel the wind on her helmet. I'm like, yeah, you probably need it. I'm literally if I'm dying, the standard windshield that came with it didn't bother me, so I didn't really need it. But then I was like, well, if she needs it, I guess I might as well upgrade it. And then yeah, and I got it in red, so you know, it looks nice as hell in red. It's a Clockwork 10-inch windscreen. It looks nice, makes the bike look really nice. Yeah, stage 3 Rockford Fosgate speakers, the Clockworks windshield. I added my quad lock, so this quad lock, I had it for my NT10, and it fit perfectly on this bike. It's a universal mount, so it goes on any bike. As long as it has a handlebar, you can always get the adapters for it. But luckily I had all the adapters with me when I first bought it, because it comes with all the adapters for almost every bike. So I just hooked it up, and then it has wireless charging, so it's literally charging right now, which is crazy. As it's like hooked up with no, well, the only thing it has the power, which I ran it through here under to my seat for the accessories plug. And yeah, every time I fire the bike up, it just turns on automatically, and then when I turn it off, it turns it off. And yeah, put that on there. And that's about it. That's all. And then I got the not the crash bars, but the saddlebag guards. I got the matching saddlebag guards from the front, so it comes with the front ones from factory, but it doesn't come with the rear ones, which is kind of trash. So I got that, installed that, and all those parts. I got a couple parts along with that when I first bought this bike, because I got, you know, the promotion. I got, since I'm military, I got like $250 worth of money to, you know, spend on parts. And so I got that. I got all the stuff to get the passenger ready. So like, this bike does not have a passenger seat or passenger pegs or floorboards. So I just got the floorboards. Essentially, basically everything I needed to get it to, so I can have a passenger on the back. And yeah, floorboards and floorboard mounts and all that. Can't remember. And then that was it. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I got. And then I just added the heated grips, which, let's see how they work in the winter. Right now I can't say anything about it. I mean, they work. I think I tried them like when it was like a cold night, like last month, and I was like, let me try this. And they work. They get hot. I was like, man, I'm surprised they didn't come from factory, because it's not really that much weight on this bike. So, but yeah, I added that. can't wait to test them out in the winter. And I also have the heated jacket that plugs right into the bike. This bike has the plug-in ready, so all I had to do is plug it, just buy the jacket and plug it right in. But yeah, essentially I got that. And yeah, there's more upgrades that I want to do. Eventually, like I said, I want to do the sounds audio system, the front and the rear, to get that loud audio out of it. And then I want to get the bike tuned. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna tune it through using the Screaming Eagle tuner, and then I'm gonna buy the Screaming Eagle wideband. And then for the exhaust, I'm going with the. I'm in between either the Bantam high output RR exhaust or the SNS Diamondback exhaust. Now, the reason I want to go with those two is because it completes the bike. This bike is basically inspired by the Moto America bike, and you know, it has all the carbon, forged carbon. So I want to get it to look, you know, make it look what it's supposed to look like. You know, the Bagger race bike. And yeah, I want to go with like a short exhaust 2-in-1. And then also to get it that higher ground clearance, especially for the corner. Last thing I want to do is scrape the freaking muffler, just because I have like the standard muffler. Not that the standard mufflers don't look nice. They look nice. They have that, you know, the forged carbon, the titanium. But I want to get that like a better ground clearance, and then, you know, I want that sound. You know, I want to let people know that I'm, you know, I'm around. Last thing I want is some cars. Oh, hey, here's the bike. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll be posting more as I come up. But yeah, like, subscribe, guys.